everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Our Real Original. I'm Corey Dempsey.
And I'm Andrew Beam, and if you're just joining us, the Oh Real Original is a podcast where we explore the phenomenon of twin films, which are just two movies that are really identical to each other in terms of their premise, and they're released within the same 12-month period.
That's right, everybody, and we do so by exploring these movies through the lens of a fight, boxing, MMA, or whatever your violent sport of choice is. Two movies will enter the ring, but only one can emerge victorious. There will be no ties here.
That's right. We're going to go 5 rounds in this fight, and the judges, which is us 3 sitting here, we're going to score each round out of 10. The first round of the fight will be an analysis of the talent involved with each film. We'll discuss the directors, the actors, the writers, and ultimately decide on which film had the better credit sheet.
In the next 4 rounds, we'll hone in on some similar plot points or storytelling tropes in each movie and do a deep dive into those scenes to decide which film was superior in its execution. After those 5 rounds have been completed, we'll tally up our score sheets and declare a winner.
So, in previous episodes this season, we've covered movies like No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits. We explored a couple of the 80s franchise revivals in Rambo Last Blood and Terminator Dark Fate, as well as Freddy vs. Jason and Alien vs. Predator. And like in all of those previous episodes, we're joined by a special guest to help declare the winner here.
And this week, our special guest judge is also a co-founder of the AP Film Collective and a director at Super Scout. It is John Stegman. John, how we doing?
Howdy, gents. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on.
Jump the gun.
Strategically forgot to open that before.
Indeed.
I liked it.
And so now that we've got all of that out of the way, we are going to go to our announcement of these 2 films. Beam is pulling double duty as both a judge and the ring announcer.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just imagine if Bruce Buffer was like, all right, I'm done. Now I'm going to go sit down and judge this, all amped up. So that's what I'm going to do. So
Who's Bruce Buffer?
the guy who announces like the MMA and the boxing fights.
I thought it was Michael Buffer.
No, that's the guy who does boxing. I believe his brother. They didn't know that for a while.
That's a great family trade.
It's quite a family trade.
Top
Anyways,
tier.
I'm going to go and not change it all and do the introduction now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only event of the evening, sanctioned by absolutely no one. Our 3 judges scoring the contest this evening are Corey Dempsey, Andrew Beam, and John Stegman. There is no referee because And now, for those in attendance and the 1 or 2 people listening around the capital region, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live, but not at all because we are recording at Jive Hive somewhere in Albany. It's time! 5 rounds for the best movie about a volcano that, without any notice whatsoever, erupts in your neighborhood. Introducing first, a film where Tommy Lee Jones just stands there and yells at everybody while Anne Hesh, who is apparently a geologist but becomes Tommy Lee Jones's assistant while a volcano erupts in the middle of LA. Volcano! And their opponent, a film featuring a dashingly handsome Pierce Brosnan and the wonderful Linda Hamilton, have a meet cute in the middle of a small town where a formerly dormant volcano starts erupting out of nowhere. Dante's Peak!
That's right, everyone. This week we are going to be discussing Dante's Peak and Volcano. And without further ado, let's get this fight started. All right, so in round 1, we are going to discuss the talent involved with these 2 films. Before we get into the talent, though, I have some notable statistics and numbers about these 2 movies that I want to give you all. So Dante's Peak was released first, February 7th, 1997 by Universal Pictures. Produced on a budget of $116 million. It made $178.1 million at the worldwide box office. Volcano was released 2 months later, April 25th, 1997 by 20th Century Fox. It made $122.8 million at the worldwide box office on a $90 million budget. Those numbers are courtesy of Box Office Mojo. Thank you.
Nice job citing.
Both films, financial success.
Yeah.
Made their money back and some.
Absolutely.
Dante's Peak slightly more. I was surprised Dante's Peak had a $116 million budget.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm kind of like shocked by that.
Yeah, that's a big number.
That's like sizable nowadays.
Yeah.
I know things have like kind of gone down and then back up a little bit, but like Like I'm shocked that because there's way more star power in Volcano too, so you'd think that would be higher.
Where in it do you think they splurged a bit more in Dante's Peak? Where do we think that money went?
Pierce Brosnan certainly commanded a sizable salary, I think, because he is James Bond at this point.
Fair.
Some of the special effects stuff, you destroy a lot of shit in this movie. I feel like the production sets probably cost a fair bit.
Effects for sure. The practical stuff is way larger scale. Like I think they built like a 30 or 40 foot volcano at one point too. So that might be it, but that's still 116. Is that what it was?
Yeah, 116.
That's pretty up there.
Yeah, it's up there. But made its money back, 178.1 million at the worldwide box office. That's substantial.
Wait, so it was 90 what for Volcano?
$90 million budget, 122.8 million at the box office.
Did a little better.
I mean,
Comparatively, I think.
well, 50 million above or 60 million above for Dante's Peak, 30 million above. I don't know what it works out to be percentage wise, but I mean both were moderate successes. Dante's Peak also for a February release is interesting to have that big budget.
You probably get some savings from that being a true LA movie. For
Yeah.
Volcano too. Like that's everything else location, I would assume, for Dante's.
For sure. All right, so the talent involved. We're going to go with the scripts first. I have a interesting theory about the scripts to these movies that I'd like to share with you all. Dante's Peak to me feels like a detective story in the vein of like Seven, where we're following a geology detective as he tries to figure out what the hell is going on with this volcano.
Keeps picking up all these clues.
Yeah, picks up all the clues, and then, you know, he doesn't try and stop the volcano because there is no stopping a volcano. He just tries his best to save the people. In Volcano, it feels more like a horror film where you have a scary monster, the lava, the volcano. It is slow moving and it just chases people with no regard for anything. And so it kind of just kills without any prejudices, just like a Freddy Krueger or a Jason Voorhees. It's kind of like a slasher movie, but in disaster form.
Also, I feel like definitely agree with you on Dante's, where that is, it's almost like a procedural TV show episode that's just lengthened out a little bit. Like the whole first half of the movie is, I mean, like the action doesn't really start till a little later in Dante's, or maybe it just feels that way. But to me, it feels like it's like halfway through the movie before you really
Absolutely
crazy. Volcano's pretty much like probably only a quarter of the movie before you're in it. I would say like Volcano feels like kind of for that era, like in the cookie cutter straight disaster movie. I feel like Dante's one of the reasons like I always kind of like gravitated towards that movie was it just feels a little different. It's also maybe the setting's different just because it's like a very much like classic disaster movies, always like giant city, like asteroid hitting, you know, in the middle of
New
Paris.
York City, or
and then that's like just downtown LA versus Dante's Peak, just kind of like a quaint little town.
Well, it's also important to note that Dante's Peak takes place in a place where there actually would be volcanoes, whereas Volcano takes place in LA where there are no volcanoes.
We'll break its armpits, man.
I don't know. We haven't seen it yet.
We haven't seen it yet.
So
there's a quote right in
you
there.
say that it won't. I also love the way that it appeared. Like somehow it got higher and higher. It was like Billie Eilish, like almost like appearing like at a concert, is just like slightly
coming up
rose
through the
up.
floor.
Yeah, right. As it like had its big intro, which I mean it's LA, so I guess I understand doing that. I also think that was kind of funny about Volcano is that like there was a level of Dante's Peak, like we had some fun with it. It almost felt like Twister, like where like that you had that crew and everyone just had their part within it. Where like in Volcano, it felt so slapstick hilarious in so many different moments. Without, I feel like trying, or maybe that was the intention, which I think goes to the point of it being like a horror movie.
Yeah, I think that also comes from like Dante's Peak being slightly more realistic, where like we're actually with the group of people that would be there for that reason, so we're in that world a little bit versus like Volcano's like firefighters. They're like
the firefighters,
oh God,
the police officers. Yeah,
Oh, we got hoses.
yeah.
for sure, absolutely.
You
And
probably say it differently.
you know, to give credit where it's due, the Dante's Peak was written by Leslie Bohm. He also wrote Nowhere to Run, which is a Jean-Claude Van Damme vehicle from the early 90s. That was his only other notable credit.
I missed that one.
Volcano was written by Jerome Armstrong and Billy Ray. We talked all about Billy Ray on the Terminator Dark Fate episode. He's a heavy hitter. State of Play, Shattered Glass, Captain Phillips. He's done a lot of really great stuff. Jerome Armstrong, this was his only writing credit, and he actually recently passed away in 2023. So rest in peace, Jerome Armstrong.
Sad note to bring.
Yeah, well, it feels important to give respect where it's due. So let's now move to the directors. We talked about the scripts a little bit. The director of Dante's Peak is Roger Donaldson, known for movies such as No Way Out, Cocktail, Species, and 13 Days.
Cocktail. That's classic.
Cocktail. No Way Out, Kevin Costner vehicle from the late 80s. Big fan of that movie. Species is redonkulous.
It's a
13 Days is a boring movie about the Cuban Missile Crisis, but it's professionally done. Got no problems with it. Volcano is directed by Mick Jackson, whose other notable credits are L.A. Story with Steve Martin, good movie, and The Bodyguard.
Interesting.
Yes.
The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard. Terrible movie.
It's really
Whitney
interesting.
Houston is a
Like,
gem.
both these guys have some like real like hidden gems, but not a consistent.
No, not a consistent filmography.
Not at all.
But yeah, The Bodyguard was a huge hit. I mean, Costner, Houston, like Whitney Houston's a gem. I don't like that movie, but I will watch Whitney Houston all day long.
You could also make an argument that that's like a well-directed movie.
Yeah.
It's like has some interesting choices. I wouldn't necessarily say that for Volcano. Feels pretty pretty cookie cutter, but in an endearing way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
felt a little frantic.
Yeah. Well helmed, if you will, but it definitely feels like hey, we just need someone to like this movie needs to exist. Give it to somebody.
It feels that way with both
Tommy
these.
Jr.
Like, you're not seeing a lot of flexing from the directors. There's not a lot of fancy stuff going on. It's just like, we need a professional filmmaker to just sit at the helm of this expensive disaster movie.
For sure.
And I think both of them do their job. I wouldn't say like specifically there's anything going on that I like really of note. I mean, the action's there and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like because Dante's Peak, I feel like has some moments, but you could make the argument that that's just the script and not the direction.
True. Very true.
But they both have like pretty crazy good practical effects for like the era.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like that perfect late '90s marriage of CGI and practical. Though Dante's is mostly practical, I think.
I mean, the scene where his first partner in the film gets hit by a lava bomb.
Dude,
Hey, man, got me.
I was scared of lava bombs for a long time in my life. So make sure I wasn't in a volcanic area.
That was going to be my question. Follow up was, how in danger were you?
Me personally,
Yeah.
just extremely.
No.
always
Every day of
a
my
threat.
life, man. Freaking went to school with a helmet on. Man.
So let's talk about the
There it is.
let's talk about the special effects for a moment. You worked in some effects departments. You did a lot of art department work in your film career. So when you're looking at these special effects, this was a pretty great time for special effects, it feels like, where the mix of practical and digital was really coming together in a really cool way in the late 90s. Independence Day was a great example for me. Men in Black with all the aliens and stuff and all that. So, when you watch these movies, do you have a preference in terms of the special effects, or talk to us about some of that stuff?
I'd say I lean Dante's, but I think they're both at the same level. But it's really just kind of like what was asked of them to do it. But I will say, like, that whole era, I love, because you kind of get like the last vestige of like really insanely good practical effects before you kind of went down to like now it's just like the few people that do it really do it. You have Christopher Nolan and stuff like that. But like that era, people start to get a little more creative with practical effects because like they're being basically replaced to a degree. So it's like anything that's there is
you need to show off.
Yeah, I've watched basically specials on both of these movies. I think both have really like they had to figure out how to do the flowing lava was all practical, and I think they used like it was basically a liquid that had UV mixed in it, and then they would float paint on top of it to have the dried sections so it would still be able to flow. Both of these things were like, I mean, we're talking 100 feet by 40 feet. Like everything was on like big scale, and same thing with Dante's. I just think, typically speaking, like it's probably easier to make like a giant mountain more like Mount St. Helens with like that kind of flow with water and stuff at that level. Just like I think always tends to, even nowadays, there's a reason that people still, if they want to, do that practically because it just always looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how do you know how they did the Lahar, the big water flow in Dante's Peak?
The
Was
one
that
with the
where they're crossing the bridge and the bridge gets
It's
destroyed?
awesome, actually.
It
It's-
looks so fucking good and real.
What's crazy is that's the one time where it's like you're so suckered in by how good the water looks, and because it's pretty large scale. I'd say it's probably like a 10 or 15 foot wide river that they made. Basically, it's all modeled and stuff, and they shot like an insane amount of water down it. But it's all like
Like a whirlpool
it
or
was
like a wave
I
pool.
think they had like this. They basically had this rig that was like 50 feet in the air or something like that would just dump. They would fill it all up. It's almost like at Great Escape where they'd have that
The
big,
water bucket?
The water bucket. They kind of basically did that. But the
Paul Bunyan's bucket brigade.
Yeah.
yeah, like two
Sorry,
things.
just trying to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Thanks for the shout out, Paul Bunyan. But no, I mean, one of the things that always looks good, especially with practical effects, is like if you get the scale big enough where you don't have to worry about like fluid dynamics not looking real anymore. Same with flames. Like if it gets big enough. I mean, Independence Day is another reason for that. Like the flames they got, that was a big thing. But that super slow motion always looks good. But on this one, they got it pretty big. But if you look at the bridge when they do that, there's like I think they're like 1 foot long like model trucks. But you're so distracted by the water that you don't even notice it. But if you do rewatch it for that, you can notice it a little bit. But that's like one of my favorite shots in the movie. It's so good.
I'm not going to watch it for that. I'm going
should.
to suspend disbelief and think that holy shit, they really did that.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
the Paul Bunyan bucket brigade thing, like that's pretty ingenious, honestly.
Well, it's still like it's pretty. Like I mean, you really got to focus on it to notice it's fake. Like it's quite excellent.
I think we have to. I think we have to now reconsider where that budget may have gone.
No, definitely big time special effects.
No, 100%. I have to imagine they shot on location to a degree.
To a degree, I feel like they built those sets in like a mountain locale because like the landscape shots are certainly real. It looks like Washington or Oregon or wherever in the Cascades. So it definitely felt like on location to an extent.
Yeah. I do kind of vaguely recall them saying they like digitally composite the mountain in, but I feel like I don't know that enough to say it on a podcast. Like I am
No, fair enough. Like you are right now.
like I am currently right now. Yeah.
All right, so finally, with the talent involved, let's talk about some of the actors. We're going to go three kind of categories with the actors. The first are the leading men. We got Pierce Brosnan as Harry Dalton, the geology James Bond. We also have Tommy Lee Jones as Mike Rourke, an old crotchety guy who barks orders at people, which is what Tommy Lee Jones did a lot during this era. He was K in Men in Black doing the same exact thing in this year.
He was a little more hands-on though.
He was. He was more hands-on
Black.
in no, I mean, he was at every scene in Volcano. He was always there.
Right, but I mean,
Not really doing much,
Late
but
90s Tommy Lee
yelling.
Jones. I have a fondness for that though. Like Double Jeopardy, always classic movie.
Double Jeopardy's good.
No, I mean I think
only seen it on mute. I know that's a really
acceptable.
weird thing to
Oh
say.
no, we
but
watched
Actually,
it.
Judd
Yeah.
movies,
We watched it at the Ruck
yeah,
while it was on mute at the background, and we like got real sucked in.
Nice.
It was
If you
great.
get sucked in on a muted film, it's a solid
Yeah.
film.
we were also very hungover.
Yeah, it was like
As
11
me and
a.m.
my
on a
wife Sarah
Sunday,
super hungover, like. And then they changed the channel.
and we were
got
like,
upset about it. Yeah,
"Excuse
we
me, can
actually
you go
got
back
them
to Double
change it.
Jeopardy?
Oh,
We're
nice.
we're in this movie now."
Anyway, so about Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
Late 90s Tommy Lee Jones, like classic hotel film guy. You just like, you get into a random Holiday Inn in like Boise, Idaho. You just like you don't have any guide on there. It's just one channel. Tick, tick, tick. You get to a Tommy Lee Jones film from the
I
late
don't
90s.
think we have a shared experience.
This is a shared experience, universal.
slapping through cable,
But
find the
anyway,
Tommy
so,
Lee Jones movie.
Yeah. No, Volcano's like a little bit more star power up front, I feel like, but I do feel like Dante's Peak has like a really good kind of balance. Like
Yeah.
you have less really popular people from the time.
For sure. I mean, for me, the leading man, I love Pierce Brosnan in this movie specifically, like as kind of the geology spy. He's just figuring stuff out and trying to figure it out, just like he would with James Bond. Like he's pretty charming. There's a little bit of torture in his past because of his wife, or sorry, close to wife, who got killed by a volcanic bomb. And I really like him in this movie. And, I was kind of making fun of Tommy Lee Jones for barking orders at people, but like he does it really effectively.
He does.
It's a great character trait for him.
He does it well.
Yeah, does it great. The other notable difference here is they use Pierce Brosnan to have a kind of love story with Linda Hamilton's character. Not the case with Mike Rourke and Anne Heche's character, Dr. Amy Barnes.
It kind of seems like Barnes, though, did have a bit of a thing for him. And it was almost like she came in as a geologist, and then she met him, and she's like, oh, yes, anything you say. What are we going to do now? I'll go do it. And it was kind of weird.
And he met the daughter.
She subservient to him, like, in a weird way, where it's like, you know a fuck ton more than
They
what
do
he
have a
knows.
few lines in there too, where she's like, where her friend before she gets fried says that to her.
Yeah.
You like him.
Yeah, like before she died.
But there's nothing ever overt in the movie, and I feel like this is a thing with Tommy Lee Jones that has happened. Like he's always been like a non-sexual entity in movies. Like
even in No Country for Old Men, where he had
he has a wife, but all they ever do is talk. I never see them hug
all
or
he
touch
ever
or
does is
kiss.
talk, is what it seems like.
And then Men in Black, like he has a wife, but like she got neuralized.
Especially when the film's on mute.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. That's
That was
that's
only
tough.
Double Jeopardy, man.
No, every Tommy Lee Jones movie. On mute all the time.
And then we have our female supporting characters. We have Linda Hamilton as Mayor Wando.
Yep.
And we have Anne Hesh as Dr. Amy Barnes. I gotta be honest, neither is given a lot to do, so it's hard to really judge them.
I mean, I kind of like Linda Hamilton. I liked what she brought to the table. I thought her character didn't make sense to me. It's like, you're a mayor for like 10% of it, but most of it, you run a coffee shop.
You're a mayor, you run a coffee shop, you like Pierce Brosnan a lot, you have your 2 kids, and you're looking for a surrogate father for them, which Pierce Brosnan can fulfill. I don't know.
I feel like you could make the argument with Dante's Peak that it is several actors' second best movie outside their main franchise. I don't know if you could make that argument for like anyone in Volcano. Not that it's bad. Like the cast is good. Arguably, the cast is way better in Volcano than it is in Dante's Peak. But I feel like Dante's Peak gives them a little bit more. And it's probably just the story arc, because you're immediately disaster in Volcano. Like, what do you do? It's just like it's a modern day like The Rock role, basically.
Right. So because you're just thrown straight into the action, you're not given a lot of character development. And so like, what are you supposed to do as an actor? You're just there figuring shit out, barking orders at people. I mean, Anne Hesh is established as like a geologist and an expert, but then I feel like they spend the whole movie sending her on like babysitting missions and like not really using her expertise effectively.
Never actually does.
So
She
like they
comes in and
establish this
identifies.
character as like, okay, she's an expert, and then they just do nothing with that. So it's just like, what are you supposed to do?
Every once in a while, there's like a random line about like what Iceland does
Yes.
when they do volcanoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the moment that when the riot was breaking out and all the looting was happening, and she just was so dejected coming out of the tunnel, and she's like, oh God, like I just can't. I'm so sad. My friend just got cooked. I'm very sad. This is chaos. I need to take my oxygen tank, put it on the car.
Loves
and
this
Sylvia
beat.
just immediately snatches it.
It's actually one of my favorite
I-
beats in this movie.
I'm almost kind of wondering if like I don't really appreciate that moment for what it was, or if that was the moment she was broke and she didn't know what to do anymore. So her whole geology, her profession, out the
Well, that's also the moment where like she's actually given some like space to act. And then in the background, you just somehow have someone stealing her shit. It's so
Literally steals the
bonkers.
scene.
I will say,
Steals the scene with him.
I feel like one thing about I like find endearing about volcanoes. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like there was a lot of real later comments by studios execs just saying like, hey, this is a really emotional scene. Like, hey, let's get Gary to grab the freaking oxygen tank for this take. It's gonna be great. We won't use it. Don't worry about
He
it.
was just doing it as a
Yeah,
coincidence.
yeah,
Just in
100%.
and out, yeah.
But it happens like a bunch of times throughout the movie where there's some weird stuff that
Just
pops
weird
up.
notes
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last bit about the actors, we have the supporting players in this. Harry's got an entire team, the USGS team. I like a lot of these guys. There's a lot of like that guys from movies. Paul Dreyfus, played by Charles Hallahan. He's the cautious the boss who's kind of stuck in a tough spot.
Love that in this movie.
We got Grant Hesloff.
Yeah.
His only notable characteristic is a serious addiction to coffee. Java.
His entire personality.
That's his entire personality is.
That portion made the word coffee for me deeply unsettling.
I bet you store your beans in a freezer.
There's a lot of coffee bits with that guy.
Yeah.
Don't really understand it.
Like, I like coffee. I don't like coffee nearly as much as his character does, and it made me think of coffee as the word most feel about moist. Sorry, I think I just ruined that for you.
Yeah, well,
Moist most.
we also have
Wow,
Moist.
all right.
We also have Terry, played by Kirk Trutner. He's the cowboy. He kicks stuff to get it working. He goes off rope on the top of a volcano, and he talks shit about NASA for the entire movie until he doesn't anymore. We have Nancy Arabella Field, not really given anything to do and has no like characteristics.
She has side comments every.
She has side comments that are pretty funny every now and again. She was also in Godzilla in 1998, so she was kind of on a heater here. And then we have Zima playing Stan.
You say that too because of like Godzilla breathes fire and lava. Anyway.
Yeah, it's all lit, heater.
That
was on purpose.
I apologize that I brought us back. Go ahead, keep going.
And then Stan, who is played by Zima the legend from Rush Hour and Arrival and The Farewell. Great actor. In Volcano, his entire support staff consists of one guy, and it's Don Cheadle, who is also a legend.
But they save a lot of roles for like all of the sides, like first responders. Like Keith David just randomly.
Keith David shows up, and Bunny Colvin from The Wire. I think his name's Robert Chisholm Jr. Bunny Colvin from The Wire. He shows up. He's also next to Don Cheadle.
If you were putting if you had to do a draft of actors, like Volcano's way better for like longevity of other things.
Are you talking about like in a street fight?
Yeah, sure.
All right, acting career. Who's the first pick out of everyone in this movie,
including leads?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Tommy Lee Jones.
It's got to be Tommy Lee
But then
Jones.
Cheadle's probably right there.
Cheadle and Brosnan. Cheadle and Brosnan would be in close contention for second for me. I love Brosnan.
I love Brosnan too. Love him in this movie. I'm like, he was super charming in it. I think I have a fascination with Pierce Brosnan in this movie.
Personal preference wise, I agree with you. But as far as like acting chops and just like roles they've gotten, I think it's undoubted that like Cheadle's definitely better than Brosnan.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Would you take Anne Hesh over Lyndall Hamilton? No, neither.
Anne Hesh is like, I feel like the most just fill in a role person from the 90s. I mean, like 6 Days, 7 Nights, great movie. Do you remember anything she did in that? No. It's Harrison Ford and then a blonde girl. Like,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but like, she has a couple movies that are like great, but I don't feel like she ever is the person in that movie. Linda Hamilton has like a weird X factor. She just does some things that are just like, yeah, that was interesting. Like it's just.
I mean,
but
what does Linda Hamilton have apart from the Terminator franchise in this?
That's what I was saying.
Not a lot, right?
I can't think of anything actually. I know
can't
she's
either.
got a couple.
She's got to have. Of course, she has acting roles. What?
Was she in Bird on a Wire?
I don't even remember that movie.
I don't have an answer for that.
If you need a weird mid Mel Gibson movies from the 80s, there's your.
That's the one. All right. Yeah. All right, so in this round one, we have the scripts, we have the directors who we both said are kind of just plug and play professional, and we have this entire cast of characters. Given that, who wins this round for you, and is it in dominant fashion, or is it kind of a close race? Beam, what do you think?
I think it's a close race. I mean, listen, Volcano is a hilarious movie, but when you kind of take like the ensemble part of it, I don't know. Actually, I think really where it is that Dante's Peak is better in the sense of just like, one, the script is great. The execution of it's amazing. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it wins in terms of, if we're talking about this specific round, I think you got to give it to Dante's Peak. I think it's more of a 10-9 than a dominant 10-8 over Volcano. As hilarious as Volcano is, for some of the wrong reasons, and just like, it doesn't hurt it too much because the ensemble's great.
The ensemble is great. Some of the action's really good. I feel the same way. I'm going 10-9 Dante's Peak. For me, it's mostly about the script, and I think Dante's Peak is just like a perfect script. Like, there's some dumb shit in it, no doubt, and some terrible line deliveries. So the ending,
I got a couple,
with this fishing trip thing.
I love the fishing trip.
The fishing trip thing, and the girl
deep sea diving.
I think it's because he's too British. They're like, we need to man this guy up with some American shit. Let's have him go
deep sea fishing,
tarpon off of Florida.
And then the girl is just like, her line delivery after that. That's great. And that's like the end of the movie.
I think they didn't care about it either. I think those kids, like, they were silent for a minute, and then the little girl's like, we kind of like this guy. Yeah, that sounds great. That's what it felt like.
Both of these movies also just end, which I love. Which they're like, well, the action is done.
It's done. Let's over.
Credits.
Yeah.
I love, Tommy Lee Jones emerges from the rubble with a toddler who they probably cut multiple scenes. Like, can you please stop crying? Can you please stop? He's gonna keep crying, guys. We gotta go.
Sad.
We just gotta run it.
No, but I mean, the Dante's Peak script, for the couple of flaws that it has in general, like, I love it. The procedural aspect of it, they get a lot of things right about the volcano. Like, all these things would happen. The acidity in the lake that's killing animal life, you know, the pyroclastic cloud, all these things. Like, they have an attention to detail there that I respect as well. Volcano is very much just like action blockbuster. Let's get into it. Let's do the action.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be that, I just need the action to be a tiny bit better. I just need it to be elevated like a bit more where I'm really sucked in.
They picked kind of like what sounds like it's a really threatening thing, but it's like ultimately like the slowest monster.
Yeah.
It's like the blob, but it's just also.
And that's the thing, without like the ash cloud, that like the pyroclastic flow is the real thing about a volcano. Like, lava just, I mean, obviously it's destructive, but it moves super slow and it's just like going along, and they stop it. Like,
It moved pretty
there's no stopping the shit that Dante's Peak does.
No, absolutely not.
It was pretty fucking fast in both movies, I would say.
Yeah. A little faster in Dante's.
Dante's has moments of being like an actual eruption that's like from that kind of volcano though, which is like you can't escape it. Versus like the other one's like a Hawaiian volcano, like still eruption, but just make sure you're not on that road.
Just go where the lava is not.
I almost feel like the edge I got to give too, like in terms of lines, like the one that seals the deal for me is Pierce Brosnan. Wherever there is a volcano with an attitude.
Love that
I don't know.
line.
I think that's just an amazing line in any movie. That's a T-shirt.
So I have a question here. So like with judging this, are we talking about like, are we stepping back and it's like category by category as far as like, are we just taking it from talent? Or are we talking about how the talent was used in the movie?
This isn't all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's the talent, but it's also how they're used. Like,
because I feel like if we're taking it just straight talent, I'd say Volcano probably edges it out 10-9. But like as far as quality goes and the way it was, like again, I think Dante is a sum of its parts kind of thing is greater than what is actually there.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, that's mostly about the script to me, which is why I kind of give it the edge. Like, I agree with you from a pure cast standpoint. Like, Volcano probably does edge it out, but I feel like Dante's utilizes it
100%.
and the talent at their disposal a little bit better 100%. Because of a really, largely a very good script, I think. So that's why I'm going 10-9 in that round for me.
I'll probably lock in 10-9 Dante's as well.
All right, great.
For pretty much the same rate.
10-9's all around.
10-9's all around for Dante's Peak, indeed. So let's go into round 2 now. This is where we are going to start honing in on some specific scenes or storytelling tropes from the movies and talk about their similarities and the differences, who executed it better. So in round 2, we are going to talk about when the scientists venture into the belly of the beast, and then there are earthquakes and some shit goes down. So in Dante's Peak, Harry and Terry take spider bags on an adventure up the mountain with a very greedy helicopter pilot.
He wants to discuss the raid. Wow, what a fucking thing.
We need somebody to be a guy we can kill quick.
We need to get a greedy guy in here because he needs to die later.
100%.
That is his function for being okay with him dying.
Oh yeah, super okay with it. But in this part, Spider Legs has some stuff go wrong. He's the robot that kind of goes in and checks out the volcano. Some things go wrong, so Terry goes down, goes off rope, and then there's a earthquake. Boulders fly, and we get a broken leg situation. In Volcano, we have Dr. Amy Barnes, Anne Heche's character, and her assistant Rachel. They go down and take a clandestine trip into the sewer. At that time, an earthquake happens, and it opens up a space where the lava can flow, and her lovely assistant Rachel gets caught up in the lava. And this is where we get the scene afterwards where Dr. Amy Barnes is grieving publicly and gets her shit took in a just bonkers moment. So, what are you guys' thoughts on these two scenes? Which one do you want to focus in on first?
I feel like let's go Dante's.
Okay.
Dante's what I like about this whole movie, and it continues after that, but again, very realistic because pretty much, even though he breaks the leg, the break the leg is basically a hindrance to them taking a proper test. So they don't even really get the data that they 100% need. And then it becomes more of an argument with his boss. And it's just, we can't shut the town down.
Dreyfuss is not into that.
Yeah. But it was still, like, the thing I also love about him is he's just, like, he's not a bad guy. He's just doing his job. And he's, like, even friends with, they're still friends with him. It's not like,
He's like really bad at his job.
Well,
no, I mean, not
hindsight's
not for what
2020, but like he's
I don't know. He's giving some clear. This is off topic, but he was very giving some clear evidence where maybe I was just too much in Pierce's. See, this is where it is again. It's my infatuation with Pierce Brosnan is what's really getting in the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think like what's actually cool is for that kind of role, like they don't do that often. That's a pretty realistic, like it's an easy thing to make that guy just like, fuck that guy. But like he's not. He's like he's like an actual friend. He's just like, hey man, let's just taking this a little too seriously kind of scenario. But anyways, broken leg, very realistic scene. Versus Volcano, where like that's just classic disaster. Like it's the earthquake scene at the Hoover Dam where the dude gets sucked down and while Paul Giamatti watches in San Andreas. It's like that, it's the classic.
It felt like
scene.
the second Ghostbusters where they were like going down to look at the ooze.
No, nice.
Nice.
A sewer scene's always gonna go well.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
No, I mean for me, like the Dante's Peak is a little bit of a nothing burger, like, but it is important to the story. The volcano thing is honestly one of my favorite moments of the movie because of when she gets her shit looted while she's grieving. Like, it is a bonkers choice. It makes absolutely no sense in the movie. But, like, I hysterically laughed during that scene.
Top tier direction.
Like, it is just wild that they included that.
Yeah. And go.
Like, I don't know if they were trying to be intentionally funny, but like, what is this scene doing in this movie?
There's no hesitation. You just beelines for the oxygen.
Just beeline for the oxygen tank. It fucking takes it.
The TVs. This thing's worth something.
I mean, maybe.
Well, it's also a really good take during a volcanic eruption. Like, get some oxygen. Yeah. Some supplemental air.
Yeah,
but no one's thinking volcanic eruption at that point in that particular spot, are they? They're just thinking some shit's going down.
That is true. Some shit's going down, and we're going to take this opportunity to steal some shit.
You're not going to need oxygen in any moment that this earthquake is presenting.
True.
Totally fair.
It's very fair.
So, given this round, given this particular scene, given this matchup, how are you scoring this one?
I think I got to give it to Volcano. I do think that as far as a story building goes, Dante's Peak is better, but I do think as far as like actually doing something in the moment, like it's Volcano. It's probably one of the better parts of Volcano.
I think so.
The sequence.
There's two scenes in Volcano that I really, really enjoy. Like, don't get me wrong, Dante's Peak, I think on the whole, like you said, like some of its parts great, but like each part serves and like builds on the next one. So this being kind of early on in the movie, it's just like a key cog in the machine of the movie. Like, it's an important part. They establish this thing, then they go with it, they build upon it. In Volcano, like, this is a memorable scene to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first chance that Anne Hesh has a chance to act, and then this thing happens in the background, which is just wild.
Yeah, and you could also say, like, they kind of hit at talking about how a Volcano is more of an action movie for longer. This is kind of the launching point for a lot more action in this movie versus Dante's Peak. Like, we're still just in the information gathering sequence for a while.
There's a little bit of action here, but it's just information gathering. The same way with like, the kids are about to jump in a lake with like dead bodies in it, and he has to catch them. But really, it's little snippets of action. Where like Volcano, this is the kickoff of the action.
What's funny though, like I know we were saying of like Volcano being compared to like in more of a horror movie. I almost feel like that particular scene in Dante's Peak is like, I guess you could say it's a thriller aspect, but that kids are about to jump in, that felt like a horror movie.
That's great.
It's also the couple who is having promiscuous sex getting killed. True. It's a real slasher trope right there.
They get to actually having sex though.
Oh, they were. It was about to go down.
Together on fire.
It was about to go down, and then the lava came up. It's the heat of the bodies touching. It's real representative, doing some real symbolic things there.
I just don't think there was penetration that I know of that occurred.
There was about to be penetration.
I rewound this film many times.
I'm not saying the film, I'm saying the scene. But like anyway.
10-9.
10-9 Volcano. Also 10-9 Volcano.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I will say, in terms like more memorable with Dante's Peak, I will say I was a little my anxiety creeped up while I'm sorry, what's his name?
Terry.
The broken leg. Terry is down there with the broken leg, because I was like, shit, how's he gonna get out of this? And like, to me, that stuck with me. But I kind of like the little girl chat going through the tunnel about Rourke.
Yeah.
And kind of like brought a little humanity to the scene a little bit. Like, why wouldn't you just be bullshitting while you're trying to check out what's going on in the tunnel? And then, oh my God, there's lava. So,
Well, that is the interesting thing. Like, it's just a professional work conversation between two colleagues.
yeah.
But like, because they're geologists checking out a volcano, like it does seem out of place. But that's what we do.
That's
Like,
what
you
they-
just
it felt real.
yeah.
So
And I like that.
I got to give it 10-9 to Volcano.
Yeah, I think it's very close. Like, Dante's Peak is a great scene as well.
Great.
Like, so I have no knocks, but it's just a little bit
felt like
more
it could've
memorable with Volcano.
Could have been nicer to Spider Legs, but fine.
Yeah, he kicked it a lot. That's
Dude,
kind
it
of what
was-
he did.
It was physical
kind
and
of his
verbal
thing.
abuse, and I can't be there for it.
Fair enough. All right, so we are going to go to round 3. So far, we have a 10-9 round all around for Dante's Peak in round 1. We have a 10-9 all around to Volcano in round 2.
Wow,
So we have a
this
tight contest. Round 3, we have the volcanoes clear their throat and shit starts to hit the fan. This is the initial eruption of the volcano. In Dante's Peak, Harry and the mayor, Mayor Wando, played by Linda Hamilton, they call a public meeting in the high school gymnasium, and that is when Dante's Peak starts to erupt, the initial eruption. In Volcano, Mike Rourke and his daughter are taking a drive in the car, and then the volcanic bombs start raining down on the vehicle, and from there, shit goes down. I want to focus in on Dante's Peak first. It's a really good scene. You get the people trying to escape from the gymnasium, and it's fucking bedlam. And then everybody walks outside, and they see the eruption happening with the big ash cloud. And then we get the asshole helicopter pilot from earlier trying to extort money from people to get them out of the situation.
And Terry's got a broken leg, man.
The ash chokes out the helicopter blades. It crashes.
Snorkel scene with the truck.
You got
Alzheimer's.
the trucks trying to drive through the river
Is
with
that
this.
real?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And
I wanted to snorkel on my non-existent truck for years
because of that movie.
because of this movie.
I should put one on my Jeep Renegade.
You should.
And it's a really, really good scene. In Volcano, it is a very good scene and there's moments, but what I think it suffers from, it cuts to a lot of different things during this. Like, actually during this scene is when you start cutting to Anne Hesh and the looting situation that's happening in a different location. You're cutting to this situation with subway workers. So it's cutting around a lot of the action and distracting from it. Whereas like the action that's taking place, you have the stuff with the fire truck. They start building the barriers to kind of channel the lava there. You have this weird racial justice thing where the cops are arresting a black man for speaking his mind, but then the black man offers to help out because
Yeah, that's a moment of unity.
directing the lava will save the people in his neighborhood, and the white cop lets him go,
My
and
favorite
it's a
part
whole
about that is
thing.
he's like, "You're a good guy, Jerry."
You're a good guy, Jerry. Like, what?
Like,
It is a bonkers choice.
No, that
there-
was more because he directed the fire trucks to go to his neighborhood.
I know.
The
it's
guys that
still-
let
it's
him
not-
go?
It's not great.
The
Like-
guys that let him go
Was a
just
different
like, "You're
guy."
annoying the shit at me. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's just some wild stuff. But the point being that they're cutting to all these different things that are happening,
You gotta cover it all.
and it takes away from the action a little bit for me. Whereas in Dante's, it's just beat after beat during that kind of shit hitting the fan. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Steg?
So I'm curious, where do we cut off that scene? Because the issue, like, I feel like Dante's has a
I feel
very
like we went
clear,
far with the
like,
Volcano
well,
one.
the big issue is Volcano is like it kind of just bleeds together because it's the same action for a long time. Dante's is like that whole scene ends when they have to go up the mountain, and then that's like a definitive end to that, like probably 10-15 minute sequence.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like a 10-minute sequence in Dante's where it feels like they cross the river with a snorkel truck,
Mhm.
and when they're on the other side of that,
Then we're clear.
now
That's
we're
when trying to
figuring
go to get the kids.
now
Yeah,
we got to
landmines.
figure out how to get the kids. That's the next scene.
Yeah.
That's the next bit. So like this is that 10-minute sequence in Volcano. You are right, John. I feel like it's like it bleeds together and there's a lot going on because it's cutting. I think the definitive end to that piece is when they stop the lava by squirting it with all the water from the hoses on the fire truck. And so they successfully kind of stop the lava flow.
Wasn't there other ones?
Oh, yeah. Helicopters, too.
Yeah.
Helicopters come through and are dumping water on it. So it is a very...
squeeze in because it is a weird time because like this is kind of part of why Volcano sometimes has some issues where like they have so many side characters. John Carroll Lynch, that whole sequence is squeezed into this for some reason.
Yep, that whole sequence is squeezed in here.
Feels like its own thing.
It is its own thing, and so that's what I'm saying. It kind of distracts at points by cutting around all these different things.
Crash just with a volcano.
A lot of different storylines, weird racial justice things happening. That's probably a bit tone deaf. Yeah, not inaccurate.
Yeah, I feel like Volcano.
And who else is in it? Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
We were boiling it down to like a 1 minute or 2 minute, like when it physically starts happening. Like Volcano is actually very intense for like 2 minutes to the point where you're like, holy shit! It's just like
the volcanic bombs raining down on the car.
Loud. Like it's intense. It's a great sequence. Then I feel like it starts getting to like protecting the museum versus like I do feel like there is a really nice arc that happens in Dante's where you really see like it just continues the story in a great way where there's no fat in that sequence at all.
No, and and to your point in Volcano, there's also a great little like tidbit, like 2 minute, 3 minute sequence where Anne Hesh and Tommy Lee Jones's character Mike Rourke, they have to save the guy who's about to get hit by the lava. And they put him up on like the fire truck ladder and they kind of like start going around, but then the ladders,
it's like,
and then he's on fire.
It's great.
And then the ladder starts like breaking and bending because of the weight on it. Like there are a lot of really great moments during that whole sequence, but it's interrupted by all the other things that are going on that kind of breaks up the flow.
The beginning part like that to me, that's the most intense. Like when it first starts and he's with his daughter, up through like when the two firefighters die in the truck.
Yeah.
Like that whole like 2-3 minute sequence is really intense. And I think
lava just
I think it's excellent because you don't really know what's going on yet. And then they start feeling, oh, we got to cover these other storylines. And I just kind of loses me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And so that for me gives Dante's Peak the edge. I like what you said. The whole sequence has a nice arc to it and it all progresses quite nicely. Beam, do you have any additional thoughts on this?
I mean, if we're gonna talk about like the initial scene where it's like exploding, which is, I think that's what we're covering.
Yeah.
I mean, my main issue actually is I feel as though Pierce Brosnan, or should I say Harry Dalton, his character becomes in conflict with himself. Now, here's why I'm saying that. The entire time he's trying to ring the alarm. Hey, we need to be paying more close attention to this. Who the fuck is he when the earth starts like moving and shaking to tell everyone to please stay calm? I feel
he's
like
the
he
professional.
Is now doing the exact opposite of what he's been doing behind the scenes. What hypocrite's gonna go and be like, all right, everyone stay calm. I've been freaking out. But you guys all need to stay calm. That's.
Oh, I would say he's not freaking out though. He's just trying to get everybody to take it seriously.
I don't know. He was being a little dramatic about it. I feel like in a lot of instances.
I mean, he was using scientific evidence, however, and no one was listening to him. It's got to be frustrating.
Like heated breath. Like
he's British though, so.
All right, fine. All I'm trying to say is. Like, look in the mirror here, Harry. Telling everyone else.
You're beautiful. Look in the mirror.
Yeah, you are beautiful, actually.
I mean, he's being the professional in this situation.
He can't look in the mirror because it's just too good looking.
I'm sorry. I think everyone was within their right with how much it was shaking to get the fuck out.
Totally granted, like, I would also freak out in this situation, but Harry's doing the right thing.
I will also...
He even gave it up, too. He's like,
fuck it. I'm out of here, too.
Yeah, then he's just like, fuck all these guys who don't have snorkels. They're fucked.
Yeah.
I need to drive through all of them right now.
I will say there's two moments.
Well, also with the snorkel thing, he kind of gets bailed out a little bit because that one, he gets stuck.
Dislodged.
And then the other car.
Fucks up twice in this movie.
And then the other car just knocks him loose. It's like, bro.
Great sequence.
Great sequence.
What I do appreciate about it, though, is that he's like super confident, like, we got this. In both instances, it felt like where with another scene coming up with the lava, but where he drives over it.
Oh, that's another.
We're going to talk about that later.
I will say though, there's two things with Dante's. This has one of my favorite shots in the movie and one of my least favorite shots in the movie.
This sequence,
all within like 20 seconds.
Okay, hit us.
It's one of the best effects is the initial eruption with the pyroclastic cloud in the air. Awesome looking, great miniature. Then in that same exact shot right afterwards, they do a reflection of like trying to see what you'd see from inside the car, where it's Linda Hamilton's face, and they're trying to pretend it's like glass. But it's like,
dude, I noticed that.
It always sucked me out of the movie because it's like they just took another shot and like took the opacity down on it. But it's one of the weirdest looking shots, and like with an effect that they probably spent like $1 million on. Always threw me off.
Like a budget that came for a Lifetime movie.
Yeah. No, it was super weird. That one always stood out to me as being weird. But
I never noticed that, but now that you say it, definitely.
Yeah.
It's really odd because I just remember going, are they trying to be this like her looking from the glass kind of reflection thing?
It was a weird post choice for sure. I don't know, but that one always took me out of it. But I would say
fitting for a 90 grunge music video. I would say.
yeah. Still good though.
Yeah, you would say you're scoring this round.
I would say if I was scoring the first minute, I would have said 10-9 Volcano, but overall, I'm giving 10-8 Dante's.
Ooh,
I do think it really does drop that
10-8?
much. I do. I'm going to drop it that much, just because of how the sequence goes.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to go 10-9 Dante's, but I hear what you're saying because like it does detract from the movie quite a bit the way that Volcano keeps cutting around to all these other things. Like if you kept that sequence super lean and just like progressing and focused on that one thing, and then let's go on to this other thing that's happening in this other location and we'll focus on that. Instead, when we're constantly cutting around, it's taking you out of it. So like I hear you. I'm going to go 10-9 because I do like a lot of parts about Volcano.
Yeah, I dock an additional point because they literally shoehorn that entire like
racial justice thing. Yeah, fair enough.
Like it's a full-on studio note, just like, hey, let's toss this in there.
Hey, we're in LA in the 90s. Yeah, we gotta include some of this stuff.
Don't they even make a reference to like the LA riots?
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
With Volcano.
Yeah, that's what the looting's happening, and
okay.
yeah.
All right, that was a weird one. No, so I would have to. I think I have to go. I think I'm gonna go a little against the grain here, only because I'm gonna give it to Volcano. And the reason why, and 10-9 Volcano, and the reason why is I understand in terms of like, I guess if we're going to talk about technical prowess, yes, I would give it to a Dante's Peak. But the reason why I'm going to give it to Volcano here is because I felt like, yes, it was all over the place. It didn't take me out of it. It just made me feel frantic. And I feel like
that's effective.
I felt like if I was in the middle of LA and a volcano just continually like was popping up out of the ground to reach its full being, I would be frantic too. So I would say just in terms of how I would feel in a volcano
and how the scene made you feel. Fair enough.
How the film actually made me feel. I'm going to go with Volcano.
Okay. I respect that.
Fair.
All right. So we're going to go to round 4 now. This is probably my favorite round of any of it. This is where we get a character who does not respect the volcano making the ultimate sacrifice. In Volcano, it is John Carroll Lynch, also in Zodiac as potentially the Zodiac killer, Arthur Lee Allen.
He's a great character.
Great character actor, tremendous. He is playing Stan, chairman of the MTA. He sacrifices himself in order to save the subway driver on the plane, or on the train rather. And in Dante's Peak, we have Grandma Ruth. She goes not so merrily into the long goodnight. It is bonkers that they're singing merrily, merrily, merrily while she is being burned by acid.
She was singing.
Yeah.
She was singing along too.
Yeah.
And she just burned alive. Which, good God, that was such a dramatic. Anyway.
Yeah. Wild shit. So I want to talk about Volcano first. I'm very conflicted about this scene as well, like you were about the Dante's Peak scene, because it has one of my favorite little things where he is taking the subway driver, he's carrying him off the train, but then the lava's there and he can't really get across. So he just jumps himself into the lava, heroic act,
throws him,
and then just throws him.
Full on chest press,
just chest presses this dude like a human
over his head, and then chucks him. It's nuts,
and that's fucking crazy, and it is wild. And like, I have so much respect for that because he is being burned alive from his feet, and he just chest pressed this dude over the lava, saves his life.
Unconscious, catches fire, and somehow doesn't wake up from that.
Yeah, and then But right after that,
Shots.
that shot when he's like human melting, it is so bad.
It is.
It looks so atrocious. So like, I am very conflicted about this scene because of that like little bit. It's
To be fair,
it's
and
wild.
then
I was going to say the same thing.
In comparison,
Yeah.
Grandma Ruth, I know she's burning alive and she's doing this heroic thing of like pushing along the boat, like sacrificing herself for the great good. But then it's just the end of it. Ah!
Also, like, get the
But just that over and over.
like. Also, like, fucking get the fuck out of the water. You walk around a 20-foot dock and you walk down it. Like, get onto the dock. Like, it
Well,
makes
they had
no
to get to the dock. Is
Yeah,
sort of
so-
part of the
so
issue.
real-
So I think she had to go.
There,
in.
she does this like weird wade thing where she's no longer holding the boat.
Well,
and
you think about it. If the
what
lower,
half at
if the
length.
lower half of your body is getting like chemically burned,
Also,
My
she's
first
like
thought is get out of this burning liquid.
she's like
Can you-
also 80. How's she going to like? She can't just mantle up onto this dock. Like
I
that's
know,
going to
but
be
the
difficult.
fact that she doesn't even try.
Dude,
or
all right,
back
fair
the
enough.
shit out
dude,
of it.
imagine that scene though. If
She's
she's
just like a slow walk towards. The,
So real quick, let's just back up for a second. In this scene,
Yeah.
they're in the boat. They have to go up and rescue Grandma Ruth because the kids have gone up there. They have stolen a car, driven up the mountain.
infuriating.
props to the kid,
But
that
also,
being able to drive through that.
great
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I
Great
would
character
crash.
development because they are infuriating, but you're supposed to be annoyed.
Yeah, you're supposed to be annoyed with them,
Yeah,
but
that's
like
Knock
you know,
off Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's
yep,
being a
knock
parent.
off Joseph
Five
Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt.
And then, so they go up the mountain. Harry and Mayor Wando go to, chase after them. They get in a boat that's crossing. The acid in the water eats the propeller of the boat.
Insane.
They're all scared, so they start singing Merrily, Merrily, Merrily down the stream. Harry tries this move where he wraps his arm in his jacket and starts putting it in the water and like trying to paddle that way.
Which,
that doesn't really work.
How does that not hurt him?
Is
Is it the cloth?
Well, it does hurt him, and that's why he eventually takes it out. And he's like, he kind of shakes it out a little bit.
I guess I missed that over.
This is
Just imagine this though. She keeps wading through.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but fuck, that was loud.
If she just keeps wading through, just doing the screaming, and as she's lifting herself up on the dock, you put I mean the entire time.
I will say, if we're giving props to Dante's Peak for realism, it goes a little bit out the window from like this scene for the next like 20 minutes or so, because
Yeah.
pretty much anything with her for a minute, because like I mean the boat prop can be the hardest metal on the boat that melts through faster than
Faster than the boat
regular
itself.
which is just sheet metal.
There's that, and then like
It's also acid doesn't. It's like it would never be high enough that it would burn you. like,
exactly this
instantaneously.
the pH level on this would be like 3, which is the same as lemon juice. Like it's a mild skin irritant. It's not burning you
But
alive.
even if like you have like actual sulfuric acid
Are
or
you
something.
saying that Grandma Ruth was overreacting?
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
And then died?
But
Like,
if-
we need to really go for it.
No, but
even if
what we're saying is we've been giving props to Dante's Peak for its realism.
Yeah.
This is where it starts to go out the window a little
and
bit.
even if
No,
it
I
was
get it.
sulfuric acid, like that's not something that lands on you and is like, holy shit, like this burns. It's like 5 minutes later.
It takes
it's going to
time.
burn like
Well,
crazy.
They all seemed fine after they were then hugging Grandma Ruth, who's covered in it. So I was like, that was the one thing that I was just trying to think about. I'm like,
Wow.
you guys are all around her and holding her now. She's clearly got to be passing this on to you. Y'all seem fine.
If I was going to be analytical about this for
Okay.
a second, because I will be.
We
But John Carroll Lynch, I feel like has the hero moment. That's a better hero moment where it actually warrants the move that he does, as wacky as it is. Like the lava's way past. There's no way for him. There's no scenario where there's like there's some dubious elements with Ruth. But I also feel like
She was being a bit of a selfish asshole.
But Ruth is like really teed up throughout this movie to be like you don't like her. She is like really actively annoying, putting everyone in danger. And then like this is, I feel like, earns the moment a little bit more. John Carroll Lynch is like, he isn't really that bad of a guy. Like they don't really he's just in this situation where like he's like, oh, I don't want to shut the thing down, but like that's about it.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's really weak in the not respecting the volcano. It's really just like, I don't want to shut down the subway.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like the Ruth thing is teed up throughout. So like the moment for her feels better and like more earned story wise. But like the moment itself where he is chest pressing an entire grown human being over lava is fucking sweet.
Also, like, clearly a great actor that has not been given much in this movie, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna be
This is my
really
fucking
awesome
moment.
for
Yeah,
30 seconds.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I do appreciate too the moment where he's in the office and it's like, well, it's going down, light him up, and just starts smoking a cigarette, and everyone's like, the
melting
you can't
sneakers.
do that in here.
Melting sneakers. Yeah, also like not teed up at all. Where he just started. I agree with that.
Just
Love it. He
rolls
just
up-
rips
rolls out a cigarette.
Just ripping bogues.
Yeah, no one says a word, but definitely gets shot a glance.
I do appreciate the melting sneakers. It's also a solid shot.
The melting human though is
Brutal.
it's terrible. It's the worst shot of the whole movie.
Horrible capper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really horrible capper to
I
a
feel
great
like
hero
That
moment.
is something that's often lost in general. I feel like on like lava magma is like it's the same density as rock. So like actually one thing I do like about within volcano is like when it hits the I don't know what those are called, like those concrete
The concrete barrier.
They actually do move, which I was like, oh, that's actually probably like,
Yeah,
a good
that's
thing
accurate.
that would happen because there's so much weight there.
And
But
here we are knocking Volcano.
no, I know. Always the most realistic film. No, okay, but yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed bag on both of these. They're both great moments, though. They are like I would say two of the more iconic moments in both of the films.
Absolutely. It's like so when I said it earlier, like the volcano, my two favorite scenes are this scene and the Dr. Amy Barnes scene. In Dante's Peak, it's this and when the volcano initially erupts. Like those are both dynamite. And in Dante's Peak, they come back to back. Like this 30-minute stretch of the movie, just unassailable. Incredible stuff.
Agreed.
I mean, even though it does have some flaws, but like really great.
I mean, BB, you were talking about like horror elements in Dante's. While it's not really a horror movie, that like talking about those like them almost leaping in the thing. I would argue that this is also same level of a moment. Like this is kind of a horror movie vibe for this. Like this scared the shit out of me as a kid. When I
Oh,
watched this
dude,
movie.
same. Like I watched this movie for the first time when I was like 8 or 9 at like a sleepover, and when they cut to her legs, like I felt sick to my stomach in that moment. I was like, "Oh, damn, this is fucking whoa."
Yeah.
So like, there's some gore elements to it as well. Yeah, really good. So I don't know. As far as scoring this round, like I'm really torn. I want to hear from you guys first, and then I'll kind of make my decision. I'm not gonna. I want to hear. I want to hear what you guys have to say. How are you scoring this?
I think I gotta go 10-9 Volcano. Now here's why.
Okay.
It's as much as I could say that, and I'm sorry, his name again?
John Carroll Lynch.
John Carroll Lynch. I think that with him, the dying slowly in the magma thing, it didn't take me out of as much as Grandma Ruth just do. You want me to do it again, Sex?
Please.
No, I'm just kidding.
Please don't scream again.
Yeah, it's his Grandma Ruth screaming bloody murder while she walks through that. That took me out of it more. It's like, wow, what if Valley never? Oh my God, why is she screaming like that? And it took me out of it to the point where I was laughing, and I shouldn't be laughing at Grandma Ruth's legs.
Fair enough.
Laughable at times though.
Yeah.
So you said 10-9. You're doing 10.
I gotta go 10-9 Volcano.
I'm gonna be a little bit weird on this. We don't have to be at 10 on any of these, right? Like
No, you can deduct a point from either.
We don't have many rules.
I'm gonna rock an 8-8
Okay.
tie because
8-8.
for two reasons. I think they both have massive pros. You have Ruth gets the better arc, better setup,
Okay.
and I
Agreed.
think a scarier premise. Like more insidiously scary because it's like more. It seems like something that could it's something that like followed me as a kid where I was like that actually scared me. It's like, oh, what happens if my boat like is in a weird scenario? Like I was never scared of lava.
You think about this so much. Yeah.
But yeah, so I would rock points there, but also infuriated because she didn't have to do what she did. Like there was ways.
There was other ways to get out.
Like if maybe they set it up a little bit further from the dock when she jumped off, I would have given it credit. But like you're almost fucking there at this point. Like
It was
just,
like 5 feet.
yeah, like so like just stand up, like get it on your shoes
but
or something for a second.
I
Like
didn't know they were gonna get that.
100%. I'm just saying if we're getting into semantics, that's my nose. And then but she also gets a boost for because like she doesn't die right after. They have a nice little like realistic end to her. She like that's nice. John Carroll Lynch, worst setup, better hero moment. Like one of the better parts of the film. Great like sacrifice moment. Horrible end shot. So I think both of them get knocks on points, but I'm not willing to dock it any lower than an 8 because I do feel like they're both like hero moments of the film. So it's 8-8 tie for me.
I'm with Stegs, but I'm going 9-9 tie for this round just because I'm not going to dock them 2 points each. I'm just going to dock them 1 because there's a lot of great moments, but they each have kind of a fatal flaw there. So yeah,
See how it goes. Always have a tiebreaker.
yeah, we have to have a tiebreaker if it gets to a tie. All right, so round 5. There are multiple similarities here. The first is that this is where the volcano has its kind of second eruption, the big one, and shit really hits the fan now. Shit hit the fan like initially, but now shit's like everywhere. And
Shit is
the other thing that happens here is after the finale is over, both of our heroes emerge victorious from the rubble. They are both emerging from literally rubble. And then there are helicopters flying around in both movies after they emerge from the rubble. So there's a lot of things here. Dante's Peak, let's go through it. After the kind of Grandma Ruth thing, they drive over lava. It lights the car on fire. And in one of the best line deliveries, Mayor Wando, Linda Hamilton, goes, "Harry, we're on fire." Like, oh, you think? We are driving through lava right now.
Kids didn't like one moment of this. They're like, bad. Everything about this is bad.
And this is like the peak only time where it gets like real goofy. in
Real
this movie.
goofy.
Like it's not realistic at all.
They got
There's-
Not that lava flow would not be
Also,
there. They are driving on it
they
with a
drive-
vehicle.
They drive out of it and then like they're still in the same vehicle.
They're
That's
still in the same
right?
vehicle.
Yeah.
They save the dog. The
I love
dog jumps
Hero
on.
dog, just a side little asterisk for this both films because they don't really happen at the same time. But both of these
Yes.
movies have classic '90s hero dog moments.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it. Gotta
What
love
the
it.
fuck did Scruffy do? I feel like Scruffy was a problem.
It was Ruffy, actually. No SC, just Ruffy. Great name for a dog. So he jumps in the car.
I feel like that was more of a cool. You finally fucking listened, bro. Like, thanks for running away, causing the kids to follow you and cause that whole issue.
Don't-
So hero dog moments.
Don't disparage the dog. Nipper's listening, all right? He's very offended right now.
Side cocktail.
So Ruffy jumps into the car. They are now driving in the same vehicle where the tires got melted. The pyroclastic cloud really happens now. This is the big eruption. Shit is avalanching. Harry takes this vehicle with no fucking tires on it. He's just driving on rims.
Fucking Tokyo drifting it through the ash.
And he drives it directly into an abandoned mine shaft that was set up earlier as the son's kind of hangout lair, where he was definitely smoking weed with his friends.
Yeah, they have
This
a lot
also
of
is when
snaps.
all the trucks get like swept away, like right before
Yeah.
this whole like
Yeah.
sequence.
The Lahar happens right before that, or it kind of intercut with that because they're watching the pyroclastic flow from afar. In Volcano, the whole sequence is kind
Demolition
of
of the
wild. The demolition of the building to make it fall down to stop the lava, which seems like a
So many city codes, I feel like, in terms of...
Also,
well, is
after
part of
John
the
Corbett's
office.
character for like they don't really talk to him very much. So that's real weird.
Yeah. So they try and destroy a building. They try and bring it down so that the building's rubble will stop the volcanic flow. So that's a thing. But then the daughter is chasing after a small child who ran off from the hospital, and she's now in that building. So Mike Rourke is trying to stop it while also doing it. And then the building goes down. He saves the daughter and the small child. They emerge from the rubble. I'd say Volcanoes is about a 15-minute sequence, and Dante's Peak is like a good solid like 20 minutes because there's also like a coda to Dante's Peak
It's like
when they're
5 minutes inside the
5
mine
minutes
shaft.
inside the mine shaft, whereas also where we get the rubble that falls on the car and you get the compound fracture with the bone sticking out of the
That
elbow.
was also epic.
Which
Gnarly.
We have to.
Yeah.
And we have to have
100%. Should have had 15 of them.
Absolutely should have happened.
Should have happened many times. I know it's great.
Also, when I was 8, like in addition to the Grandma Rue thing, that stuck with me. That's the first time I saw that in a movie. Shit was wild.
I don't know if I've seen that in another movie with the same level of like just.
No Country for Old Men with Javier Bardem
Yeah.
at the end. There's that one.
any NBA game. We're so
I've seen it a lot of NBA games and
weird.
soccer games as well with some
Yeah.
dirty studs up tackles. But
Conor McGregor's leg, I think.
Ah.
Had a bit of that.
Yeah.
I meant movies.
movies,
Oh,
movies, the only
no,
other
never
one that
mind.
comes to mind is No Country for Old Men,
Yeah,
but nothing around that time.
I don't know
Like,
why you gotta be so aggressive.
and
about
that
sex.
that's stuck with me when I was a kid for sure.
Peak aggression.
Beam, how do you feel about the comparison of these kind of finales? What's sticking out in your mind?
What's sticking out in my mind with the end of these movies is where the fuck is Tommy Lee Jones diving and pushing both his daughter and this kid out of the way? Like, I don't understand how they end up in the rubble. Unaffected.
The geography of this scene is very confusing.
I don't know where he's diving, where he's pushing them, where they are in relation to the building. All you see is building falling, them just screaming, not moving. The kid and the
kid in the like, she is a teenager. She could have done more. Like, get away from that fucking building, man.
Like, it was.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it felt like, you guys aren't pulling your weight here. Maybe the building needs it. No. No, I think that I don't understand where he's pushing them. And the scene where they go into the mine shaft gives me all the anxiety in the world.
Very claustrophobic, very effective. Like, when the rubble starts falling down in the mine shaft on the vehicle,
so good.
And then he's inside of the vehicle, and then he's like crunched down in the tiniest little fucking space.
Yeah.
And then they just say after, like, he turns on the beacon so that they can find him.
They're there for like a long ass time,
dude. They say, how long has that light been blinking? A day or two. He was stuck in there with his elbow fucking hanging out in this much space with like 2 days.
I was thinking about bone.
Oh my god, dude.
Do you want to know what I thought about? Not that.
Immediately bone infections.
Bone infections?
Yeah, bone infections.
No. Where the fuck was he peeing? How are they not pulling him out and being like,
and when they pull
him
out,
out, himself?
He's dehydrated as fuck at this point.
But he absolutely had to have shit himself at some point.
Is poison. They don't have water
for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean,
2 days?
I bet you the kids got some like Capri Sun stashed in there.
The kids got some snacks and stuff, some chips.
Nice fuck, he needs something in there. But like, I do. It's funny those that you say like, oh, the water. Like, what is it? The scene where before they go to the cafeteria, to bring us back.
That was so good.
That? Yeah, should they bring out the dirty water? Yeah. And what the fuck's that water they're drinking during the meeting? They got a fucking pitcher of water sitting right next to them.
That starts to shake. Yeah,
I know.
That's that Poland. That's that.
Like, that one bothered
You don't want to know why the budget was higher?
That Poland Spring, John, dog.
Budget, dude.
They just sat there with water bottles emptying them out of this pitcher. Like, I can't drink the tap. But no, I think I gotta say that. Volcanoes didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
The geography did not make sense to me at all, and like, the plan also seems fucking.
But it's a
bonkers to me. Collapse a building so that when it falls down, that stuff will divert the lava towards the ocean.
But then, like,
down the other channel that they just created.
Down the other channel that they created towards the ocean, and then it'll flow into the ocean.
That I thought like they abandoned that idea at some point. I don't know.
It was a different channel. It was a different channel. It was when they realized that it was going to go towards like Cedar Sinai or whatever.
Yeah, because of the topography.
There was underground, like I don't know if it was like one of the new subway, I think.
Yeah.
So they decided to demo that so it would all fall in.
So to me, like that channel just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, there that is. Yeah. That worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say to me, like the biggest difference between these two things is definitely like Dante's Peak is like the ultimate payoff script movie wise. Like every single beat that they set up, they have the mine shaft was set up. They have the pyroclastic flow as the big threat was set up. They have the machine that sends a signal was set up with the NASA connection of like fuck NASA the whole time.
Thank you, NASA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great moment, and like it has that deep sea fishing thing. It was like everything is there and teed up. I feel like Volcano has 2 minutes of like really great action, being super freaking intense, running during that sequence, but again. Where the hell does he go? It also has that crazy shoehorned line where the kid's like, everyone looks the same. It was like, this was not a social movement. Like, that wasn't even part of the theme.
Yeah, they're all covered in ash. And then we have this weird social justice coda where he's like, look at everybody. In the wake of this disaster, we're all the same. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
And it's also like 80% white people in the scene.
It's 80% white people who are like
in ash.
Covered in ash and are now darker. Like, what is happening? Like, it is a bonkers little coda on that thing.
Tack on.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, and this kind of took me out of it before that part, which I had forgotten about because I'd seen this movie before, and then that came, and I'm like, oh my god. But like,
I also forgot about it, and then this time it was like, whoa.
But the part that I got taken out of it when he was asking her, like, "Where's your mom? Do you know what she looks like?" Correct me if I'm wrong.
Weeps.
Wasn't his mom like suffering from internal bleeding, and then that's
Why they were in the hospital.
So
I
I was like,
think.
I almost feel
I
like
didn't
the
realize
question,
I
like,
knew it was mom.
oh, where's your mom? And he's looking around. She looks like a woman who's internally bleeding.
It's just
And dead. She's dead. Actually, she died from her injury.
It's just payoffs. I feel like that whole all that stuff
Yes.
is fine, but it's not set up at all. It just like comes out of nowhere. It's
No,
like,
and like you said, like,
And he emerges from the rubble, like and then credits.
yeah, I mentioned earlier, like,
yeah.
the way she delivers that line about the DC fishing, like, that's great. It's so goofy and so stupid, but like, they did spend time setting this up, and it pays off.
Like his
So
one
like,
hobby that makes
yeah.
him like he's talking about taking vacation the whole time. Like
yeah,
like it is.
it's all set up and it's all paid off in that finale. So like, Volcano has some very strong scenes and strong moments, but like, as a whole, it feels more stitched together rather than like a cohesive thing. So I got to go 10-8, and it all kind of comes together in this moment. Like you said, Stegs, the payoffs are just dynamite, like chef's kiss at the end of this.
Whole movie, Volcano, just stitching things together.
Yeah, stitching things together
I
to
feel like
stop
it stayed
the
true to
lava.
itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair. It did, but like not effective as a storytelling.
Well, it's weird because they
thing.
don't even mention like not to go back to it, but like they didn't even mention John Carroll Lynch's character like to Tommy Lee Jones after it happened. It was just like a side quest that was never talked about. It was just it's like I don't know. Very
I don't
weird.
think Mike Rourke actually knew that anyone existed.
No, well, no,
I
but
actually
he
think he was like, "This is me."
But he knew that, like, they set the time up to know that they knew each other and like talk to each other, and then we just see him die. Like, there's no mention of
they
like,
see him dying. Like,
he died, and it's like,
Well, that was more for us.
like, but it happened like that. Talk about a direct comparison. Like, there's that exact moment in Dante's Peak where like Harry finds out that his boss,
yeah, where's Paul?
like,
Paul
died.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
And
yeah,
like, that's
absolutely.
like everything that's just, like established is then paid off. So I don't know. I gotta give it. I'll be nice. I'll say 10-8, but I do think it might even be a bigger gap on this one.
It's big. Like 10-8. This is where it all comes together.
This is where Dante's Peak shines. And also, I will say, like, you have the same. I mean, they raised the stakes in Volcano to like now it's coming at the hospital where everyone was told to go. But again, and it is moving quicker now. But like, they've established the entire time in Dante's Peak that there's going to be a pyroclastic flow, and like at this point, they've gotten everyone else out of there, but we are now so hunkered in on our main characters.
Yeah, we're
that,
just
like,
really focused in on the main
like,
characters.
This is they have no way of escaping except for all of a sudden, oh man, this thing that they teed up in the beginning of the movie. Just it also feels believable. Like you could maybe do that. You can maybe survive that. But yeah, I gotta give it definitely Dante's Peak.
You also think if you're emerging from the rubble like they were in Dante's Peak, like, and everyone's just like, literally, as you were, you haven't even gotten out of the tunnel yet, and everyone's just cheering. To me, I'd be like, can you just all shut the fuck up? I'm trying to see where is someone. That would be freaking me out.
It'd be a lot after I just spent 2 days in the most cramped space. I'm probably covered in shit and piss.
Pretty confident
My
that the
bone
guy
is
who-
hanging out of my arm.
Well, I meant more the kids. But yeah,
There's like a solid chance he's septic at that point.
Yes,
anyway,
absolutely.
So he's just having.
All right, Beam, how you scoring this?
Oh, it's 10-8.
10-8 Dante's?
Dante's Peak.
All right.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Volcano makes no sense.
No sense in the
literally
ending.
no sense whatsoever. I would love for the root for it, but just like having them emerge from the rubble, and Tommy Lee Jones and the kid who's sobbing, just crying because it clicked with him like, yeah, my mom's probably dead. Yeah, it's over. So yeah, it's got to be 10-8.
All right. So that last round was a wash. Probably seals it for Dante's Peak overall, but we don't know yet. We have to take a quick break. We got to tabulate the scores, and then we will be back in a few moments with the announcement of the winner.
The judges scored the contest 48-45, 47-43, and 47-47 for your winner and new champion of the movie about a volcano that, without notice, erupts in your neighborhood by majority decision, Dante's Peak.
Well, there you have it, folks. Dante's
majority
Peak
decision?
wins in a majority decision. Before we get out of here, we have to thank some people. First of all, thank you to John Stegman for joining us as our guest judge.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get out of here, Stegs, anything that you want to plug for the people?
Sure. Yeah, check us out at Super Scouts. Just superscout.tv online, or check it out. Instagram's the same thing, superscout.tv. Some fun shit going on there. And APB Film, got some fun stuff coming up with John Yost and a couple other local directors, and just fun stuff. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for your expertise. Appreciate it. We're also going to give a shout out to the behind the scenes folks. Thank you to Alec Lewis, our audio engineer. Thank you to Nick Bache for his video production. And thank you to Noah Scannell for being the best boy and for production supervision.
We're also going to thank the Jive Hive, which is where we are recording, for letting us be in their studio, and also for the production of, well, by all the aforementioned people as well. So, and then also we have to give a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, Metroland Now.
Indeed, we are part of the Metroland Podcast Network. To learn more about that, head over to metrolandnow.com, or you can follow Metroland Now on Instagram or Facebook.
And because I don't really know or can remember offhand what the order of these are going to be released, to see what's happening more with this podcast, we may or may not have created any sort of social media handles for them, but I can tell you at the very least, my Instagram account, which is where we're probably going to be announcing it, is Beam__O. And Corey?
You can find me at bedsofsty_bear. And
what about Stags? I feel like he should.
Yeah, Stags, do you have social media?
Wait, do you even do anything on social media?
Other than my entire job. For me personally, no. No, yeah, at John_the_Stegs on Instagram. And like I said, at superscout.tv on Instagram is probably the best way to check us out.
Absolutely. And so make sure you join us next week. We will be exploring a couple of 90s movies about 12-year-old children becoming a part of a Major League Baseball franchise. So join us next week. As for now, we are out of here. Thank you and goodbye.
Peace.